Hello, everyone. Hello to our fellow venturers out there who are tuning in to our second episode of Venturous Talk. I hope all of you are doing well. I'm one of your hosts today, Risna Dewi, and I'm also the member of the creative team from Venturous PR. Here to accompany me, we also have another host, which some of you may know from the first episode of Venturous Talk.
So, hi everyone, my name is Melanie, and I'm the co host of today's podcast episode as well. I'm also the member of the digital marketing team from Venturous PR.
Yes, so in today's episode of Venturous Talk, the topic that we'll be discussing is moving on the edge of social media. And we have a very, very special and exciting guest speaker with us today who is kind enough to join today's episode of Venturous Talk and share a little bit about her thoughts, and opinions regarding the growth of social media, a glimpse into what her life is like as a social media content creator, and lastly, her thoughts on our student-run PR agency, Venturous.
So, our guest speaker for today is none other than Jenss Cheong. So, a bit of a background of who she really is that she was the champion of Miss Astro Chinese International Pageant in 2019. She's a social media influencer with a 37.5 thousand Instagram followers. She also has a YouTube channel, and she has worked with several brands such as Believe, Summersby, Foodpanda, and many more. Not only that, she's also from the Taylor's alumni and was being transferred to UWE during her final year.
So, Jenss, do you want to maybe introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, hello to everyone that's listening to this right now. I am Jenss. I am Miss Astro Chinese International Pageant 2019's champion, which was introduced by the host. I'm super excited and happy to be a part of today's podcast episode. So, yeah.
All right. Okay. So, Jenss, before we dive into the questions about social media and stuff, let's catch up a bit with the audience, shall we? So, how has life been for you throughout this pandemic? I think it's been like 2 years. So, yeah, how has the pandemic maybe affected?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like perhaps the lockdown or the restriction affected, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, the past 2 years has been tough for me and just as it is for everyone else, right? Because the pandemic just hit us so suddenly and everyone just kind of, was a bit confused and lost and anxious and worried about, what's coming up next. And I definitely felt the same as well. But I'm happy that, the pandemic, in Malaysia, everything's getting better and we can see that the cases are getting lower and lower every day. And also together with that, the government decided to open up also, a bit more of the social and entertainment and the whole economy of Malaysia. So I think that kind of really helps in terms of work and also my own mental health of being able to go out and hang out with my friends again, go out to eat, just do whatever activities or even just go do some sports. I think that just helps a lot more by, starting going out more. So in the beginning, I was kind of struggling a bit, but now it's just getting better.
Yeah, I think we all can relate to that, right?
Yeah.
So, Jen, I actually have a question for you, which is that I saw about maybe a week or a few weeks ago, you did a collaboration with Calvin Klein. You posted a picture the other day. I just wanted to know how has the industry been during this pandemic? Is there any challenges that you face or the both party faces?
To me, I think because being a social media influencer or being an artist, after joining the pageant competition, there's different aspects in our job. For example, we used to be able to attend a lot of events, so that was one way of our income as well. So attending events, taking photos in the event, mingling with a lot of people from the event, which gets you more connection to more events. So that's one thing. So that definitely has cut off because of the pandemic, no events are allowed. So in that sense, we definitely this part of it is affected. And maybe for different brands and companies, they do not have the chance, or they can't organize big events. So if they have a launching of the product, or if they have something that they want to just share with the world and the society and people in the social media, they actually can't do it so directly, by just organizing an event and getting everyone there, which was the easiest way to get everyone to know about a product or a brand. But on the other side, where because we can't go out, we can't meet people, so social media became another really, really heavy part, where a lot of brands just really dived into doing e-commerce, doing selling of products online on social media platforms, and not just marketing and branding, which they have already been doing. They actually really they really went into selling it online instead of just marketing it. So I think in that sense, it kind of changed and shifted a bit of that because of the pandemic. Yeah,
true. I agree with that. I feel like a lot of people really rely on digitalization of social media and stuff. So right. Now that we've introduced ourselves and caught Jenss up with the audience a little bit, let's dive into the topic and the questions. So, Jenss, we all know that you were crowned as Miss Astro Chinese International Pageant of 2019. And many of the listeners of this podcast, as well as our team members behind Venturous, are students, right? So through reading articles, I learned that you actually wanted to be an entrepreneur instead prior to the pageant. Could you maybe share a little bit, behind the reason why you chose to participate in the pageant as opposed to following the traditional route of immediately working after you graduate?
Yeah, actually, after I got back from UWE in Bristol, I worked for a year in a sort of like a startup company in KL. And only after that, I joined Pageant. So I joined Pageant when I was 23. I came back from UWE when I was 22. So I worked for a year. And still being an entrepreneur is my passion. Doing business is my passion. So why did I participated in the pageant competition? It's a bit funny. I don't think I've said this publicly anywhere before, because I don't know what would people think if I were to say this story out. So what happened was actually when I was 23. So after working for a year in a company in KL, I actually really wanted to do my master's. So to me, I don't really enjoy studying, but I like the idea of learning new things. So, by learning new things, you have to study, right? So I just, let's just do masters. So what I did was, because I was in UK, so I wanted to do a year or two in China. So I wanted to be bilingual. I wanted to learn the culture of China. I wanted to really dive deep into it and really live with, the people from China and learn more about that, so that I get more, cultural differences and knowledges of people in China. So I applied to a uni in China. I actually got scholarship for it. I got 2 years master MBA scholarship in China. So the funny part about this is then around July or August, I got confirmed that I'm going to China. And then the audition for a pageant was in end of August. So I was when it was approaching, slowly, I'm going to leave in about a month time, I started to feel actually I don't really want this, because doing MBA in China is 2 years and doing MBA in UK is only for a year. And I don't really know much about China's, studying culture, values, and, how is it like? Because they said that studying in China is very stressful. You got to study from day to night, this, that. So I started to freak out a little bit. Then I decided to one day wake up and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go for this pageant competition and see if I get it or not. So that was the reason why I went and joined. It wasn't for anything. It was just because I didn't want to do my MBAs in China. So I'm like, I need to have another thing to do, to convince myself that it's worth staying in KL. So, actually, after that, I just joined the competition and got into finals, and then I won the competition. So I guess, I proved to myself that it was worth staying in KL after all. Yeah.
That's really cool, because I myself also, students, we're not really sure what to do after we graduate.
Yeah.
So I
I
think it's
think,
really
yeah, and also another thing to add on to this is like, a lot of times being a student, or anyone in general, it's very easy for us to get lost and confused and anxious about, oh, when I graduate, what am I gonna do? Like, do I really like doing what I studied? Like, if I did marketing and like I studied marketing, do I really want to be in marketing? Or if I study engineering, do I really want to be an engineer? Do I really want to be an audit? A lot of times we have confuses and questions like that popping up in our head. But actually, my way of dealing with it is to go with the flow and to stay afloat. When like the world, the universe, the earth, it spins, right? But in a very, very, very slow way. It's a very slow, movement. And so we cannot feel that it's spinning, but the world is still spinning, and the universe will keep going on and going on. It will keep spinning, 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 spinning. So eventually life will just spin the way through. So sometimes we don't have to worry too much about what's gonna happen next. You just stay afloat and flow with it. If you resist the spinning, which is going against the way the universe spins, then it's only going to hurt yourself. You're going to feel very like stressed out. You're going to feel a lot more. So I think very important is to go with the flow. And by going with the flow, it also means that doing your best every day and just see how the world unveils itself to you. Yeah.
that's such a interesting way to put it. I feel like a lot of students can relate. Yeah, that's really because we tend to follow the herd, like just follow whatever and then many of us sometimes don't really end up liking what we're doing.
But they actually,
So completely agree.
But life is not about, life is also, sometimes life is about knowing what you want, but most of the time life is about knowing what you don't want. Like if you ask me like, oh, what do you like in a person? Maybe I can't tell like, oh, if I have a boyfriend, I want him to be like this. But I can definitely tell you 20 things that, oh, if I have a boyfriend, I don't want him to be like this. Yeah. So it's about knowing what you don't. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Right. So let's get back to the Miss Astro pageant. Your journey to becoming the winner of Miss Astro Chinese International Pageant, there must be many like ups and downs as well as like preparations beforehand, right? So throughout the journey, what would you say, you gained the most by participating in this pageant?
I think definitely is courage and love. That's the two things that I gained most in pageant. So a lot of people think that being in pageant, you need to be knowledgeable, you need to be smart, you need to be pretty, you need to be tall, you need to be fair. Of course, it's a pageant competition. So these are the things that you really you need to have a certain level of attractiveness and charm to be in a pageant competition. But what I really gained most is courage. Because to me, when it comes to joining any competition, let it be pageant, singing or whatever, courage is the thing that matters most. To have the first step out to join, it's already a big courage. And the courage to be judged by judges, and not just that, by people, by everyone in the society, especially in the age of social media. Everyone will judge you because it's a competition. So you got to accept that. And sometimes there's going to be judgments or words that are less encouraging and even mean and hurtful. So do you have the courage and faith to push through all these words that people could give you that possibly don't actually mean anything, that actually is not who you really are? So I think courage is one thing that I've gained. Yeah. And then the second thing which I said was love. So why love? It was because in pageant, I just felt this, because all of us were really close, like the 8 of the finalists, we were all really, really close. We were all like very encouraging and of course we are competitors, but it made me feel and learn that actually even in a competition, there's still a lot of kindness and love. So that really made me feel like there's really just so much love in the world. And I receive so much love from my good friends, from my family, my relatives, like people who know me or people who don't, and they just showered me with so much love. And yeah, after joining the competition, I kind of feel like the world is not too bad of a place, maybe. At least like the people around me are very loving, and they are very, very sweet to me and kind to me, which make me feel like, I'm actually really, really blessed, and I'm very grateful for them. Yeah.
That's really cool. Like being in a competition itself, you would thought like there'd be so many like people, how to say, not going against you, but like, there's competition, right?
Yeah, there's competition.
Yeah, there's competition. So it's nice to know that there's also like really supportive people who love you. Yeah, that's really cool. So so you're a social media content creator. So what is like the typical day like being a social media content creator?
Yeah, so being a social media content creator, there's no typical day because every day is different.
True.
Every day is different because really literally every day is different because we have such flexible work hours, and then I'm also running a couple of them being a social media influencer because I'm doing some other businesses as well. So there's no typical day as a content creator. But a typical day for Jenss is actually not so typical as well because every day I have a different schedule. But what I really enjoy doing throughout the day is that I usually wake up around like 9, 8 plus 9, have breakfast, have coffee at a nearby cafe, and then play with my dog because I have a really cute puppy. And then just start my day off. Sometimes it includes shooting or writing script or editing videos. Then some other times it involves meeting people, meeting with friends, meeting with clients, replying emails, replying texts. And then also for the business side, it also requires me to see investors, see my bosses, see my team, have meeting with my team, and then like go to the place, where the office is. Go to different cafes to look for inspiration. So this is generally what I do. And then also after when I'm done with work, I'll probably play tennis, or I'll just go to the gym, or I'll do spin classes. And in the night, I'll probably catch up with my friends for dinner, or go back to my parents' place for dinner. So typically that's like the day of my life. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. I cannot relate because I'm not as productive.
Not every day is productive. So what I said just now was a day where I am productive. There are also a lot of days where I just decided to, if I don't have any work commitments, I would just wake up like late in the day, have lunch, watch Netflix, and watch the whole day. So not every day is productive. Not every day is fun. Some days I just don't feel like doing anything. I'm too tired for anything. I'll just watch Netflix the whole day. And I don't see that it's a problem to take time slow and one step at a time. Sometimes you just need a break. You don't need to work hard every single day.
Yeah, true. Definitely. I feel like we're all so caught up in this like productivity. So
Yeah,
right. So
we all romanticize hustling and productivity and working hard every single day. But everyone has their own way of living. You don't have to be at your peak every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, true. Definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Just like you said, like you go to cafes to like find inspiration.
Yeah.
So the next, it leads to kind of like the next question. Where do you source your inspiration, creativity, and ideas to create content online?
Yeah. So to answer this question, first of all, I don't think I'm a mega influencer or a mega content creator because there's so many people out there that create like amazing content. So I'm not that great. But where do I actually source my creativity? I actually was very heavily inspired by a friend of mine. And she's the owner and founder of Bash Clothing, quite a popular
You know that.
store in Malaysia, especially among university students and young adults. So my friend, her name is Cecilia. She's the founder of this Bash Clothing, and she actually inspired me a lot in terms of my sense of beauty. You know, when I look at something, do I think like, oh, this is nice? Or, you know, how should I match my clothes and all of that? Like, how should I arrange my Instagram page? Like, how should I do this, do that? Like, I actually asked her a lot because she's very experienced in this, running a business online. So she actually is a very big part. She plays a big role in how I source my creativity, and in terms of just social media, she plays a very huge role. She would always remind me to, you got to create this kind of content. You got to do this and that. Like she really just encouraged me to do a lot of YouTube. So which I did during MCO, but now I'm a bit like caught up a bit of work. But so YouTube is still something that I really want to continue doing. So she inspired me, and not just in terms of social media, in terms of the way I dressed up. She gave me a lot of ideas, a lot of different style inspiration. And then another one is Pinterest. So I go on Pinterest every single day and to see what kind of style I like, I just look at a lot of beautiful things, and then slowly you will know that, oh, okay, I actually like this kind of style. I actually like that kind of style. So I think Pinterest and my friend Cecilia is my source of creativity.
I also source a lot of my inspiration from Pinterest, and I feel like a lot of us can agree because Pinterest is like that app, that
it's like Google for creativity.
But all visuals.
Yeah, all visuals.
Yeah, so that's really cool. And Jenss, no, I think you're an amazing social media. I would consider you a content creator. So because the photos that you post, the way you edit it, I don't know how to explain. It's just so pretty. Like,
thank you.
Since you find all this inspiration. Sorry, it's raining right now. Do you have a moment where you might find yourself, how to say, because you're on social media, right? Obviously there tend to be people who will judge you, will criticize you.
Yeah.
Do you ever find yourself difficult to, how to say, love yourself?
Yeah. Self-love has been such a big topic these 2 years. But self-love, it's like that. Self-love is like that. It's just like that. It's empty. Everyone's definition of self-love can be different. Some people's self-love is by working 24 hours. That's how they love themselves. That's how they feel happy. Some people's self-love is just working for 1 hour a day. And there's nothing wrong about it because everyone is different. So do I find it hard to love myself? I think last time, used to, but now, not so much. Because why do we get affected? Why do our emotions get affected? We gotta know why. So sometimes it's about what people say about us. But when you think about it, if this person doesn't pay you or pay for your bills, this person probably don't matter to you. If he's not your boss, he's not your parents, he's not your friend, he's just a random person, whatever this person says shouldn't matter to you. Because you don't take any money or any values or any benefits from this person, or you don't give him any benefits. So there's no need to care about what people say. So at least that's how I feel in life now, especially now that I'm 25. I'm not old, but now that I'm 25, I really start to feel like, a lot of, like, people will always say a lot of things, but these things just really don't get into my head anymore. It gets through my ears maybe, but it doesn't get into my head because it really don't matter. When I was younger, I really felt like, oh, why did she say that about me? I didn't do anything wrong. Why is the world so cruel and so mean? But the world is just like that. Everyone has something to say. No matter you do it right or do it wrong, everyone has something to say. So might as well just live the life that you really want and live the life that you're happy. And you find balance in your life and you just want peace and harmony in yourself. That's it. So what people say shouldn't and really just shouldn't matter to you. Sometimes randomly, there's going to be one hate comment on my page. I would just reply to it. Sometimes when people say oh, I think you're fat, I'll just say, yeah, I think so too. Because you know, right? When people say, okay, because I'm quite tall, I'm 168. So when someone tell me that, oh, I think you're really short, I wouldn't get offended. I'll just laugh off. I'll just feel like this person's eyes got problem. I wouldn't say that, how will you say I'm short or I'm not short leh, I'm very tall one leh, I'm 168. Like, you wouldn't say that because you already know that you're tall. So you wouldn't fight back or you wouldn't want to argue back because you already know what kind of person you are. So ultimately, when you find it difficult to love yourself, maybe you should try to understand yourself and know yourself the best. Yeah. Then whatever people say wouldn't get into your head.
Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like when you think, okay, like there's a hate comment about your appearance, and then you change yourself for that hate comment, but then another person was like, oh, you change, you know, like you can never.
Yeah, everyone has something to say.
Yeah, everyone will always have something to say about you. So I think, like you said, might as well just be yourself, do whatever you want to do, right? So yeah, completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Melanie, you can take it from here.
All right. Okay, so Jen, we just want to know, like, do you mind sharing with us, like, how do you manage your social media accounts? Like, do you post every single day, or are there days where you don't post as much as you are supposed to?
Yeah. So that's why I said I'm not a full-time content creator. It's not my main job being a content creator. So, you know, of course, Cecilia advises me to post every single week. But, you know, there are times where I just want to post, there are times where I don't want to post. When you take social media as work, you would have to schedule things out. You would know you need to shoot this kind of thing, this kind of, you know, videos or photos. But I'm not a full-timer, so I'm not obliged to post things. I just post things at my own pace and when I'm comfortable to, and when I'm happy to do it. So, because being an influencer or content creator, it's a side job to me. So I don't really post, you know, according to the time or blah blah blah. Unless there's a brand that wants to engage with me, then I would probably have to fix, you know, according to that. But to me, I just try to post every week. And then for YouTube, I also try to post every week. But because I'm so caught up with my work, don't really have so much time to, you know, do that. Sometimes I just wish I have 48 hours a day so I could, you know, really get more rest and do more stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, your contents are amazing. I've seen it. I think I followed you for quite a bit. So it's like seeing you in person now, it's like, wow, I'm so impressed with so much of your content, your YouTube and everything. Like sometimes I feel like, oh my God, I want to be like you sometimes. So, yeah.
No, don't be like me. Just be yourself, you know? Like really just be who you are. You can be a content creator. You can be Melanie, the content creator, and we will be interviewing you the next time we're here. Right?
Yeah. So moving on to the next question that we have for you is that we are currently reinventing our Studentrun PR consultancy, primarily targeting our services to SMEs and startups. We are hoping to actually leverage social media to market our agency. We just wanted your opinion. Do you think we should use influencer marketing as one of our leverage, or like, do you have any opinions on that?
So when I looked through this question, I really helped you guys to think through, you know, whether you guys should do it or not. And I think, to me, I would lean more on the no. Because as a PR consultancy, you guys, should have your own social media to create content. But it shouldn't be a way for people to come to you and say that I want your service, because you are providing your service. And your target market is not consumer. Your target market is SMEs and startups. So basically you're doing B2B. You're not doing B2C. In terms of providing services. So when you have a product that you want to brand out or market, or you want to sell, you can do B2C. That's cool, using influencer marketing. But when you're doing B2B, influencer marketing may not be such a wise idea to do. So what I would actually recommend you guys to do is to, you know, because in uni, right, there's a lot of like career fairs. You guys get to see and meet a lot of these like Nestle people, like people from Asia, people from so many and all that. So you can use this connection to tell people that, you know, we are a student-run PR consultancy. So our difference is that we can aim to students in university. So if, let's say, whatever brand, they want to focus mainly on students, mainly on university students, then coming to you guys is the perfect way of getting into it. Because if you were to find another PR agency out there, right, they probably have the ideas of connecting to people in the society, you know, I mean, adults lah, you know, not just students. But you guys can focus really on students. So instead of just a general PR consultancy, service, another thing maybe you guys could focus on is student-based. And you guys are not just student-based, you guys are aiming to students. So if these people wants to market to students, they would come and find you. So another thing that you guys could do is to also bring all the university students in. So let's say now we're starting with tailors, but you can pull some reps from Sunway, some reps from Indie, some reps from Sagi. So it's all interrelated. And you guys can have a conference, a marketing conference, an e-commerce conference, get brands, get people in. I think there's just so many ways to do it.
Yeah, that's very true though. With that, like moving on to like something related to that question above, like do you have faith in us as a student-run PR agency as well?
Of course I have faith in you guys. I generally have faith in human too, and I think that people can do whatever that they set their mind to. But having faith is not enough. You know, there's a lot of hard work, a lot of planning, a lot of thinking and organizing. How can this work? How to target ourselves, how to brand ourselves, how to position ourselves with all the big digital marketing agency out there, consultancy out there. How can I be the student-based and student-run consultancy that is different? You know, having faith, I definitely have faith in you guys, but how are you guys going to run it? It's the sustainability of this. So you guys are in your second or in your final year. Who's going to follow up next year? And it's the same people going to bring the same culture and same type of services to your following clients. That is also very important, because when you guys graduate, the next people are already going to do as well. Because sometimes these brands, they work with you long term. Also, if someone screws up in between, so you'll probably lose this brand. So whatever that you guys did will probably be lost at one point because of this bunch of students that didn't run it properly. So there's just a lot of things in between that you guys have to think about. But do I have faith? Yes.
Yeah. You say, like there's a lot of hard work that needs to be invested in it as well. So with that, like, do you think being a student-run PR agency, do you think it can eventually become a valuable to, you know, a business?
So as I said, it depends on what type of business you're in. So if my business and my product and my marketing target audience is to students, and I would say yes. But if my marketing product, it's towards people that are, let's say 35 and above, people that are kind of maybe like seniors, right? Then I think it may not be my choice for consultancy for a student-run based. So you're going to know your target market very well, and then you could leverage on that.
Yeah. All right. So the next question that we have for you is that what are your career aspirations, like visions for your future or your long-term dream, or like what comes beyond your current role right now?
So this question, it's actually the question that I try to not answer. Reasons of being why I try to not answer questions like that, it's because I personally view, I don't really believe, I would just say that, wait, let me try to record this, because I think like this is a very interesting topic. Okay, let me place this.
Okay, take your time.
Okay, yeah. So actually, what is my long-term goals and long-term aspiration? I find it hard to answer because whenever I answer this question, I feel like people would be like, what the hell? Like, what's wrong with you, you know? I don't have a long-term aspiration. I don't have an idea of who I want to be in 5 years or 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know what I want in 5 or 10 years. And I've always been like that since I was young. You know, you asked me like 5 years ago, did I wanted to be a pageant queen? Did I wanted to join pageant? No. Would I see myself doing a podcast? No. Do I see myself being a content creator 5 years ago? No. You know, it's because, you know, being in this, okay, if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, it's quite easy. You're going to see yourself, okay, I'm going to do this for 5 years. I'm going to study for 5 years. I'm going to do housemanship for 2 years. And then I'm going to do another 2 years with the government. It's very clear. But not a lot of people go to the professional way. So to me, I don't have any goals. I only know that what I want and what I don't want. I clearly don't want to be poor. I don't want my parents to worry about anything. I don't want myself to worry about anything. I don't want to have any financial problems. I want peace, I want harmony, and I want balance. So these are the things that I want and I don't. Do I want to be a content creator? I'm okay. Do I want to be a lawyer? I'm okay. Do I want to be a doctor? I'm okay. As long as I have peace, I have love, I have harmony. It doesn't matter what I do. What matters is how I feel about doing that certain thing.
Yeah.
So right now, I want to be an entrepreneur. I mean, I am an entrepreneur and I want to manage different businesses. That makes me happy and that gives me peace. But 5 years later, does it give me peace? Or I became very anxious about it. So would I still want to be an entrepreneur? Maybe yes or maybe no. It depends on how big the business is, whether I can just leave anytime or whether I can just let people run it. So that's just personally how I feel. You know, because being Chinese, like your parents would say, oh, you need to plan out your life. You need to know, you need to have dreams. You need to, you know what you want. But, you know, it's easy to say, but when it comes to reality, it's not that easy. And I always remind myself that everything will turn out just right. The universe is on your side. Because 5 years ago, I didn't think that I could win pageant queen. But, well, a couple of years later, I did win. So just don't put yourself in a box and don't feel like I need to do this. Just go with the flow. And you always believe in the power of believing that the universe is on your side.
Yeah, I think it's very true with whatever you say. I think like a lot of like just among my friends as well, there's always talks about, oh, they want to be something by at the age of, let's say 25, 26, a certain goal or earn a certain amount, which sometimes is such of just a prediction only. It's not really going to happen. And there's so much, because of that thinking, everyone goes into like the stress and the anxieties, the worries. And I feel like all this is just so unnecessary when you never know what's even going to happen, right? An hour later now, I'm not going to know what's going to happen. Everything is unpredictable at all. So, you know, I think whatever you've said really summarized like how I think everyone's going through, especially like during the pandemic now, everyone's finding ways. So, So
I think it's important to have goals. I'm not saying that you shouldn't plan out your life. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have or you don't need a goal. You need a goal. Like to me, my goal is I want peace, harmony, and love. But the way of getting it can be flexible. The journey can be flexible. There's no one way. You can have 5,000 ways, but the journey and the end is the same.
Yeah, exactly. I think people should. Sorry, you can continue, Risna.
No, sorry. I just want to add, like, just now you said we should, go with the flow, like the world is spinning, so you don't have to, like, how to say, don't put so much pressure on following. Do this. Yeah, that's all.
All right. So I think we have the last question, which is obviously we want to know what is one advice that you would give us as a soon-to-be fresh communication graduates as well as for Venturous PR. So what's one tip or advice for all of us that you would like to share?
For students in general or for you guys? Because that's two different. Students
in general. Yeah.
In general, okay. Advice. Honestly, right, I think giving advices to students are not too smart of a move. Because when I was a student, I didn't listen to anyone's advices.
Yeah.
So if you're a student and if someone tells you to do things a certain way and it's not what you want to do, don't do. That's my advice.
Yeah.
If someone advises you that I think you should this, and it's not what you want, don't follow.
Yeah.
I'm a rebel. I'm really a rebel. When it comes to all this thing, I'm a rebel. I don't think I should follow what people say. I don't think like if my mom tells me this way and I don't feel it, I will just do whatever way I want to.
Yeah, because I think everyone has their own opinions and how they want to live their life as well. They don't have to follow a book every time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So giving advices to students, it's not too smart of a move. Students don't listen. I was a student too.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think we're done with all the questions. Yeah.
Yeah, we're done with the questions. Okay, so that's about it for the questions we have for you, Jenss. I hope that wasn't too long for you.
It's okay.
Again, massive thank you for agreeing to join today's episode of Venturous Talk and sharing with us and the audience your insights, regarding the growth of social media and the, moving on the edge of social media. So
as well as to all to our fellow venturers out there, please do check out Jenss and her amazing content on her social media. That's Jenss Ning on Instagram and TikTok, as well as Jenss Cheong on YouTube. Go follow, subscribe, like, and anticipate more posts from her as well. And lastly, I would like to thank everyone who's tuning in into today's episode. Make sure you guys are staying safe and staying healthy, and stay tuned for the upcoming episodes on Venturous Talk.